Good morning, everyone. This is Pastor Jeff McKiska coming to you from the great outdoors here in Dundee, Illinois. Blessed to be with you this morning. One of my favorite Bible verses is Jesus saying to us, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which is so tiny when it is planted and becomes something so great as it grows up. It is one of the amazing things about God's creation that something like this can actually become that. I think the disciples, when they heard this, were kind of trying to figure out, what do you mean that the kingdom of heaven is so small and that it keeps growing over the years? I grew up at St. Mark's in Mount Prospect, very blessed to have grown up there, enjoyed my years there as a child. And one of the things that I always remember so vividly was the family of St. Mark's, the way that we were surrounded, if you will, embraced by love and faith and hope and joy and so many spectacular emotions that went into St. Mark's as a congregation. As a child there, I can remember things like the church center and the gym. I can remember First Communion, confirmation class. I can remember my friends. I can remember pastors. I can remember Sunday school teachers. But what I really remember the most is the family. Those people that knew us knew that my mom was sick with diabetes, and she often struggled with that, even though she was brave and strong and put on a good face. My dad had early onset Parkinson's and really struggled to get around, especially as time went on. He was only 35 when he was diagnosed. I was in first grade. But I remember various moments over the years at St. Mark's. I remember people helping my dad up to the communion rail so that he could receive Holy Communion. I remember people sending greeting cards, calling us, coming by to visit and check in on my parents and me. And I remember when my mom had her first heart attack and I was in high school, that one of our pastors reached out to a parishioner who was a teacher at Rolling Meadows and said, "Hey, Karen McKiska had a heart attack. Check in on Jeff." We were literally always surrounded by the love of the family that was St. Mark's. We literally couldn't get away, and that was a good thing. Over the years, I've carried that with me into my ministry. People at Bethany and Batavia know that I constantly speak of the Bethany family. I talk to people about the fact that they are part of this greater family, that we are all brothers and sisters, that we all care for one another, that we all love one another. I even talked to somebody a couple of weeks ago who's moving to Florida, and I said, you remember, you will always, always, always be a part of this family. I don't know if anybody knew it back then, but the people of St. Mark's who cared for us as their family set the stage for the ministry that I do in Batavia some 30 to 40 years later. That's pretty amazing. So in that sense, I guess the kingdom does grow, right? It's not really about the size of the church, the size of the kingdom. It's about the impact. That tree is glorious and huge and beautiful. But if you were to ask her, if she could tell you what's most important to her, it's probably the oxygen that she gives off, the shelter, the shade, the food, the ways in which she blesses others. Because at the end of the day, it's the impact that we have that grows and spreads the kingdom. Jesus was speaking to the impact. Those that St. Mark's is celebrating 75 wonderful years this year, 75 years of having an impact on its own members, its community, and the world. Bethany will celebrate 150 years next year, and the same thing, we will celebrate how we've impacted our community, the world around us, as well as our members. We are a family, and in that sense, the kingdom grows. I want to say thank you to everyone at St. Mark's for your love and support through the years, your continued prayers, and blessings to all of you. I am so blessed, and I mean this, I am so blessed to be a part of both the St. Mark's family and the Bethany family. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Blessings, everyone.